Welcome to another edition of the Bottling Den.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of EPL on Pub.
Class is in session, hitting the books on Pub Sports.
This is another exciting edition of the main event on Talking Ants.
Welcome to Week 15, the good, the bad, and the muddy on Pub Sports Radio, where we talk 20-plus NFL props in less than 30 minutes. And, of course, this show is sponsored by Prize Picks. If you haven't, go over to the App Store, search Prize Picks, and use promo code PUBSPORTS. They will match deposit your first deposit up to $100, minimum of $25. And it being Week 15, the first week for you guys that did make your fantasy football playoffs. So let's get into football where there is no more bye weeks, and we've got games on Saturday and Sunday for the next few weeks. So we got to get to work. I'm going to take you through 12 great spots. Then we get right into the line killer himself, a.k.a. Billy Brizz's favorite early looks. And then we finish with the biggest show on YouTube, who may or may not have a package for you to buy. Just kidding, just kidding. You have to be in the chat to understand where that one's coming from. Speaking of the chat, shout out to the chat guys. Smash the damn like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't, and let's get to the monies, because that's where it resides, is on this show. So shout out to you all, and let's get to what we are here for, and that is making money. And let's talk 12 great spots, and I'm going to start by talking about 4 quarterbacks. So let's start Saturday, and then we'll get right into Sunday, and we're getting to the money. So first guy we're going to talk about, we've talked about every week he's played. And now it's week 3 of Deshaun Watson, and they still haven't adjusted this man yet. So let's get right back on where we were last week, and that's his pass and rush yards over 242.5. And last week was the first game where they needed Watson to throw. And what did he do? Just 276 passing yards while chipping in 33 yards on the ground versus the 12th worst pass defense. And now he gets a matchup versus the Ravens D, who is top 3 versus the rush and bottom 6 versus the pass. And they're going to need Watson to throw tomorrow for a shot in this game. And then until they adjust this man upwards of 30 yards or more, I have to take his combined. But don't hate anybody out there looking at his super low pass number. I believe they have it set at a whopping 209. So don't hate anybody looking at his straight pass, but I want to take in his rush and pass yards. Well, Saturday has a few good matchups, but none like the night game. And I know there's a snowstorm as we speak going on in Buffalo, but the hard part of the storm is supposed to pass by game time. So let's get into Josh Allen and why we want his rush and pass yards over 277.5. The Dolphins defense is top 10 versus the rush, but bottom 10 versus the pass. The only issue is they've been bad versus the rushing quarterbacks. They've been really good versus the running back versus against the rush, but quarterbacks who run the ball have done damage versus this team. Josh Allen is 6-0 to this number when facing a bottom 10 pass defense this year, averaging 384 yards pass and rush yards a game in this spot. So why stop now? And let's just keep hitting them where Allen balls out of his mind. We have a guy hitting at 100%, averaging over 100 yards than the number we're getting in this spot. Yeah, I've got to play him bad weather or not. And let's start out Sunday morning with the best quarterback in football. And that's freaking the best running quarterback in football. Got you there. And no, I'm not speaking Lamar Jackson. I'm speaking the man Billy Bridge tried to tell you guys weeks ago. And if you've been playing him, you've been eating. And I'm talking Justin Fields rush yards over 68.5. Now, I know he's not a good quarterback, but that has nothing to do with what he can do with his legs. And Fields is 6-1 the last 7 games to his rush yards over, and now gets a matchup where if the Eagles do have a spot to attack, it is versus the rush D. And I know it's gotten better over the last few weeks with the addition of Sue and Joseph, but still his number has not caught up to Fields. And over the last 7 weeks, Fields is averaging 12 rush attempts and 101 yards a game. So we're getting a prop right now hitting at 85% the last 7 games and an extra 33 yards to where they've set this number on Prize Picks. Yeah, sign me up until they adjust it a lot higher. The last spot we're going to talk about, I've been betting good offenses team totals first half over, and I haven't missed yet. So why not take some props into this and take advantage of this Texans team with what may be the best offense in all of football? And yeah, I'm speaking the Chiefs. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes fantasy score first half over 10.5. Now, I don't like playing many first half props, but that just makes too much sense. The Texans defense is 29th in total yards while being 26 in points allowed. Pretty much they suck, and the Chiefs are a 14-point favorite and should be. So let's get in and get out on a team that should have 21 plus points in the first half. We hit this with 150 yards and a touchdown or 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. All are very doable for the best quarterback in the game. If you like what you're hearing, do me a favor and smash the like button. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe as well. And enough about the signal callers. Let's get into my favorite position to talk about, and that's the running back position. And we're going to start in the same game where we started with when we talked about quarterbacks, but now we're going to go to the other side of the ball, and let's get into why you need to be on J.K. Dobbins rush yards over 49.5. And man, does he have a nice matchup versus a Browns defense, 16th versus the pass and 22nd versus the rush. And J.K. was back to being the best running back on this Ravens team as soon as they activated him off the IR last week, going for 120 yards on 15 carries versus another divisional opponent who is ranked 15th versus the rest. JK looks primed for another big workload versus a team who has an issue stopping the run. And the game plan with a backup quarterback that is going to lean on the run for as long as the game calls for it. J.K. Dobbins should smash this, and I will be on some J.K. O-H! I-O, motherfuckers. Let's get into a man we haven't missed on in 5 straight weeks. Let's not stop now. Let's make it 6. And I'm gonna go Isaiah Pacheco rush yards over 76.5. And I don't hate it if you want his fantasy score over 13.5. He has the best matchup on the board, but is also a 14-point favorite in this game. So may not see any action come the fourth quarter. But still, I think he hits this and hits it with ease. The Texans defense is 14th versus the pass, but dead last versus the rush, allowing 166 yards a game on the ground. Pacheco, since being the starting running back, has averaged 16 rush attempts a game and has only seen one bottom 5 defense in that span. What did he do? He just broke into them. 15 rushes for 107 yards that game. So even if he sees if the Chiefs are up a bunch at half, I still think they lean on him in the third quarter. He doesn't play fourth quarter. So Isaiah Pacheco, just on his average attempts, should smash this number. We've been smashing Pacheco, so let's just keep going and going while the going's good. Now, I'm already on this man's rush yards over 51.5 from a ticket I made this week. But I really think this next man, Travis Etienne's fantasy score over 12.5, is the way to go. And he gets a great matchup versus a Cowboys defense who is second versus the pass, but 23rd versus the rush, allowing a little over 128 yards a game on the ground. And I want his fantasies because he has multiple ways of hitting. And then a PPR format, the game script may call for more passing than running. And this way, we don't trip on what the game script calls for. Etienne over the last 5 starts is averaging 16.5 rush attempts, a little more than 2 targets a game. And now Etienne hasn't scored in the last 4 games. And that's why we're getting a super low number on his fantasy score. If he somehow finds his ass in the end zone, he doubles this fantasy score. He should hit this without seeing the end zone. But the fact that he hasn't seen the end zone in 4 weeks, we're getting a super low number on a guy getting a lot of volume. And this right here may be my best bet of the day if they're not going to offer me what I'm looking for. But man, oh man, does Miles Sanders have a matchup from the gods. Yes, from the gods. And I want his fantasy score over 13, and I really wouldn't be surprised if he cashes this one in the first half. The Bears defense is 11 versus the pass, 27th versus the rush, and 30th in the league in points allowed. There is a reason the Eagles are big favorites here. And Sanders has played versus 6 bottom 10 rush defenses this year and is 6-0 to this number, averaging 20.3 fantasy points a game with at least 1 touchdown in every game. This is off. This should be way higher. And we're getting a man who averages 7 points more than what they're offering and is in 100% win rate in this opportunity. Miles Sanders is easy fucking money this week, guys. Get in where the getting is good. We have covered 8 great spots. We got 4 to go before we get into Billy Briz and Big Show. So if you like what you're hearing, smash the like button. It helps the algorithms more than you know. So I appreciate you, to say the least. Well, let's get into the guys catching the ball. And man, oh man, do I like this Ravens-Browns game a little too much, maybe. Maybe not. We'll tell after Saturday afternoon. But yeah, we start in the same game again. And this is where I'm looking to smack them with. David Njoku's receiving yards over 37.5. Now, Watson has been back 2 games, and last week was his first game with Teenage Mutant Ninja Njoku. And we said it was going to help Watson out. And man, oh man, were we right. Njoku was targeted 9 times for 7 catches, 59 yards, and a tutty. Now we get a matchup versus a Ravens D who is stout versus the rush, but the back end of that defense couldn't stop the clap with a condom. So they're bad.
What did you call him, Sharpie?
Which team?
What did you call him? You hit me dying back here.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Njoku, man. Y'all better be ready for him, bro. He's killing it. So, yeah. And they're bad, like I was saying, to say the least, guys. This Ravens defense couldn't stop the clap with a condom. So let's just bank on his safety blanket. And it's going to be a tough time running the ball. So last week they trusted Watson to throw it 40-plus times. They're going to need him to throw it again, guys. So the amount of volume that Njoku is seeing, the yardage is just way off. So let's get in on some Ninja Turtles and let's eat. Well, the eating's good Saturday afternoon. Then in the early Saturday game, we're going to take some easy money and jump on some Paris Campbell receiving yards over 40.5. Yeah, I said easy money. And Campbell has a matchup versus the Vikings and their 32nd ranked pass defense. There's only 32 teams, so the Vikings secondary gives up receiving yards like my prom date gave it up. So I expect the Colts to be down, and they're going to have to throw. And that means, yes, Matt Ryan will throw interceptions, but it also means some yards are going to come, fellas. And when Paris Campbell has been targeted 5 or more times in a game, he is 5-1 to the over, averaging almost 6 catches and 55 yards a game. So maybe his fantasy score is the way to go, with Price Pick scoring being a PPR format, but I do expect 6+ targets. This guy's averaging over 15 yards than what they're averaging when he sees this amount of targets. So I will be looking at some Paris Campbell in the early morning. Now, let's head on over to that Jets, Jets. And now I know Mike White is not going to be starting, and the Jets are going to go with Zach Wilson, but still I can't ignore this Lions pass defense. I have to take me some Garrett Wilson receiving yards over 64.5. And I know Wilson has been thriving with White as the signal caller, but White was the QB of this team's 3 of his last 6 games, where Garrett Wilson is 5-1 to the over, just averaging almost 6 catches and 92 yards a game. We're getting a prop that's hitting at 85% the last 6 weeks, with 32 yards to his average versus one of the worst pass defenses in the game. Yeah, sign me up, even with that bum Zach Wilson as QB. We finish our day talking about that stud on the Saints. Yeah, I know. I said Saints, so there's not too many over there. So let's get right into Chris Olave's receiving yards over 56.5. And man, does the Falcons defense blow. They are 27th versus the pass, 27th versus the rush. Pretty much they can't stop nothing. Olave is 4-1 to this over on this number his last 5 games, seeing no less than 5 targets a game, and has scored his 3 touchdowns this year, all versus bottom 10 pass defenses. So this may be an anytime touchdown look as well, or a shot on DK or FanDuel if you're looking for a flyer. I think he's going to get in the end zone. So his fantasy score is also worth a look for a guy that's going to see the targets, but I just think his yards are way too low in this spot, in a spot where I see him eating and eat often. Well, those are my great spots of the weekend. If you like what you're hearing, smash the like button. If you love what you're hearing, go hit that retweet on my Twitter page for your boy. Well, enough about me. Let's bring in the guy who just keeps putting money in our pockets, whether it be NFL, NBA, or UFC. Just know he's that dude. Billy Briz, how you doing? How's life treating you, my guy?
I'm doing good. Man. Feeling nice. Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. We're about a week away, and there's money to be made.
Man, you should be feeling nice with how damn late you slept in today. So you may have been playing Call of Duty till like 4 a.m. the way you slept today, but
Nope,
it was
I
wild.
was actually watching podcast. I was watching some Bam Margera. They had a new little special on YouTube about him.
Oh, okay. Well, Bam. Hopefully he gets his shit. Does he got his life together yet?
Yeah, man. That's the reason why I was watching it, man. Yeah,
Good,
you
good.
gotta watch that part of it.
Good,
And then
okay.
I was watching some Najee Houston too.
All right. Well, let's get into why the people came here for, and that's some NFL props. And your first game is in the Saturday night primetime game between the Dolphins and Bills, where the Bills are a 7-point home favorite, and the total is set at 44. Looks like you're waddling into this one. How you planning on pulling this off?
Yeah, I like the over 53.5 receiving yards. Waddle was on fire up until a couple weeks ago where he popped on the injury report in week 13. I think we're on the live stream with Jimmy, me, and you. And we're saying, I don't think Waddle's healthy, to be honest with you. And it looked like it on the field. He's only had 1.5 receptions and 3.5 fantasy points in the last 2 games. But I think he should be due for a bounce back. Best game environment on the slate. And it's a good matchup versus the Bills.
I'm going to give you some information. I don't know if you know about it yet, but last week I was worried about Armstead not playing because he's their stud tackle. He was out the Niners game 2 weeks ago. And when I looked it up, they said they usually would bring up somebody from their practice squad for a lineman because he was hurt. They didn't bring up a lineman, which meant Armstead was good to go. They brought up a wide receiver, which means Waddle was a decoy in that Chargers game.
Yeah,
So pay attention to who they're bringing up on their 53-man roster. If they bring up another wide receiver, Waddle may not be right.
I mean,
Just
he was
something.
on the injury report this week. He should be good. We're waddling it up. We're putting that at 53.5 yards, man.
Man, this ain't the Lions, but man.
Dude, 53.5 yards, man. I mean, seems like a very ideal spot for Jalen Waddle. It's got to be the lowest it's been in a while.
It is, and it has to do with the weather in that game as well. But let's get into the next spot, and it's Sunday. And we go to the Cowboys and Jaguars game, where the Cowboys are a 4-point road favorite, and the total is set at 47.5. Looks like you're coming with a curveball, so where are you at here?
Yeah, Zay Jones over 50.5 receiving yards here. Zay Jones has had 46 targets his past 4 games. Low-key, better production than Kirk over the last 3 weeks. The Cowboys are number 1 against pass DVOA, but they could be without 3 starting quarterbacks this week in Lewis, Brown, and Diggs. So low-key, sneaky good spot here for Zay Jones. Jaguars usually play better at home than they do on the road, so hopefully he benefits from Trevor Lawrence chopping up the Cowboys here.
I'm hoping they're so out for my ETM play, bro. Ooh, I got 2 left on a 5-pick, man. I need that one, bro.
I saw that.
I was like, I beat him though with that Derrick Henry line. Those fuckers put it at 9. I mean, he may not get it, but it's the Chargers. I had to smack him. And Zay Jones, I gotta write that down before I forget it. If y'all ain't taking notes, y'all are stupid, bro. That amount of target shares, and even if Diggs and them is back, Diggs will be on Kirk, bro. This is beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Now, this number is low, and I get what you're doing here in this Falcons and Saints games where the Saints are a 4-point home favorite and the total is set at 43.5. But man, oh man, does it take some balls to trust a quarterback we haven't seen yet. Tell these people how you getting in.
This
Tell
is a
these
gamble.
people.
This is a gamble. I'll give you that. This one's a gamble. Drake London over 36.5 receiving yards here. His last game before the bye was really impressive, man. He had a career high 12 targets and 95 receiving yards. Hopefully the switch from Mariota to Ritter should help him out even more. They should have some built-in chemistry from going through some rookie camps and stuff like that. So all the wheels here for Drake London. It's all about the game environment, man. Dome game here. I mean, 36.5. No Kyle Pitts out there. He's got to get it, man. It's
I
all
think he
depends
get it on
how
one
good-
catch, bro. But it's just like, fuck, bro. What
Is Desmond Ritter good?
Is Desmond Ritter good? Who cares
That's
if
the
he's
gamble.
good? Is he going to target him 30% of the time or more? That's all I care about. Fuck if he's good.
Is he going to be winning or losing? Are they coming back, or are they going to be ahead trying to fucking social lead?
I mean, against Andy Dalton, who knows, man? Desmond Ritter didn't look that bad in preseason.
So we're going to have to go then and look at maybe some halftime props on that game. I think I might have to get nasty on it. So, yeah, bro, it's a gamble. Like you said, I'm like, I can't believe it's
this
low.
could be 24-0 either way first half.
It can be. Your last play is what would have been the game of the day last year, but man, does Tom Brady look washed. And that's the Bengals and Bucks game, where the Bengals are a 3.5-point road favorite and the total is set at 45. What you looking at here, Billy?
Yeah, we're looking at Leonard Fournette over 22.5 receiving yards. He's covered that 4 out of his last 5 games. The only one he didn't was against Seattle, but that was the easy win for them. But I think this is a good spot for him to get over his receiving yards. Feels like they're kind of putting Rashad White as like the in between the carry back, and then letting Leonard Fournette be down there for third down pass protections and stuff like that. So he'll be out there for 2-minute drill. Hopefully Leonard Fournette can get the job done. I think he can get that done in a couple of catches.
I was actually looking at Fournette's rushing receiving at 55.5, and I'm like, that's too low for a guy who gets that much volume, bro. Like, too low. So definitely his receiving yards hit every time almost. It's like that dude's a receiving back and a running back. I'm not afraid of White yet. White, I don't know. The goal line back is Fournette, in my opinion. That's the guy. And when the game was on the line last week, Fournette was out there. So
yeah, I mean, you know how Bruce Arians is.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't want to trust no kid either. So, well, my guy, always a pleasure. And I know you're a busy man. I know you got a show coming up in a few minutes. I know you got a show coming up tomorrow and maybe another one on Sunday. So tell these fine young people where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Billy Burrs over the next weekend. We got NBA Pub Hub coming up next, right after this video. UFC card, last one of the year, UFC Vegas 66. And yes, we were taking Sean Strickland to main event, baby. And Sunday, we're rolling over to the Pub Hub, and then Sunday Night Football.
Well, you'll never see me bet on a main event for a long time again after last week. I will take my fucking draw.
I thought the draw makes sense.
I'll take it. But I'm just over this shit, bro. What dude's gonna break his leg or something? Or I'm cool, bro.
I thought the draw at first I was like astonished, but then like really looking back at it, I thought the draw was worthy.
We got a big NBA card today, or
big NBA card, top play. I mean, it's one of those Sixers. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna watch it anyways. I like your information and how you go by your numbers. Well, appreciate you as always, my guy. We're gonna hit a quick commercial and come back with the biggest show on YouTube's play of the day. Fuck, I forget every time, bro. Air Guitars, where it's at. What's good, Big Show? Glad you're back and looking healthy as ever. How's the pup, and how is that winter treating you in that freezing ass Michigan?
Well, winter's cold. Nothing new there. Pup's in his cage because I knew he couldn't be good enough for 45 minutes after he just slept for 3 hours. So, looking forward to it.
Shout out to the chat. Tone motherfucking Miggins, Boston Nick, Viper, MDR, Banana Grapes, and our newest member, Justin McElvery. So we be motherfucking pubbing. He just made the second month. That's why that one popped up. So we appreciate you. And yeah, let's get into our plays of the day. And it happens to be in the same game. Eagles and Bears, where the Eagles are a 9-point road favorite and the total set at 48.5. Tell these fine young people how you getting in.
All right, Sharpie. So when I looked into this game originally, I thought this game was going to be close. I feel like this is going to play out like a NFC North division game, if you ask me. I took Devontae Smith over 4, which means he's got to get 5. He's hit this 9 out of 12 times, 5 out of the past 7. He does have a crazy road split. I don't know if you checked into this at all, but he's averaging almost 20 yards more per game on the road with 1 game less even. I'm not really worried about the blowout here because I think it's going to be a close game, but if it does blow out, I still kind of like Devontae Smith to get this in the first half. He got 4 the past 2 times in the first half and ended up just getting 1 catch in the second half in the last game. So if it was a play between this one and the over 26 first half, and I decided to go with the 5 catches.
All right. 4's a push and 5's a win. So definitely worth a look right there. And if this game is close like the way you see it going, fuck, bro, are we going to smack them with this one then, guys? Like I said earlier, Miles Sanders has a matchup from the gods, and that's in front of him this weekend. His fantasy score over 13, and I wouldn't be surprised if he cashes this in the first half. Bears defense is 11 versus the pass, 27th versus the rush, and 30th in the league in points allowed. There's a reason the Eagles are giant favorites here, and Sanders has played versus 6 bottom 10 rush defenses this year. He is 6-0 to this number, averaging 20.3 fantasy points a game with at least a touchdown in every game versus a bottom 10 rush defense. If you're in the playing prop TD parlays, you got to put him on there this week, guys. He scored every game at least once in this spot, and I don't expect him not to score here. The Bears are sieves, guys. This is off. This should be up at least 3-4 points, and I expect it to move by game time. He's hit this at 100% in the 6 opportunities this year. Like I said, we cash in on some Eagles this weekend. Eagles. There wasn't enough time. There wasn't enough props out, guys. When we do this show, there's barely anything. They all come out Friday night. So Big Show wasn't going to rush no damn ladder spot and put something out that he didn't want. But if you don't know, you should know. We do a show every Sunday on Pub Sports Radio, the Pub Zone, where we play-by-play the whole NFL Red Zone morning card. And we keep you updated, live stats, information, injuries, and we bet that shit too because we're gamblers. So he's going to start that show off with his ladder play of the day then. And until the next time, Big Show, where can they find you? Tell these fine young gentlemen what you got going on.
You can find me at Big Show Picks on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. You can catch most of my shows that I produce, like this one. We got the Pub Zone on Sunday, which Sharpie was just referencing. The college football season is finally ticking in, so all the clips that you see out on Pub and the hit in the books is coming to an end. So appreciate everybody for supporting that one. Appreciate everybody for supporting this one. Go ahead and smash the like, comment your favorite play so me and Sharpie can talk in the chat with you.
Yes, sir. Hey, if you comment, we will reply in the chat. Even if you fucking think it's ask, I'll still make fun of you and talk shit back. I'm not the type
I'll
to
still
shut
say
my
thank
mouth.
you for supporting.
So, guys, Do us a favor if you haven't already. This show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Go over there, use that promo code PubSports on your first deposit. They will match deposit it your first time up to 100, minimum of 25, and they've got a bunch of crazy Christmas promos going on. So go on over there, do us a favor. If you've already used it, go do it in your wife's name. I'm Sharpie's Bets. He's Big Show Picks. Billy's on the next show that's on right now. So hop on over to the NBA Pub Hub. Until next time, this is the good, the bad, and the money.
We be pubbing.